Hello, I'm Lynn, and this is the Crone Zone. And today we meet the bogeyman. We go to card 15 in the Major Arcana, which is the Devil card. Now, the Devil card compacts down to a number 6 and therefore is very linked to the Lovers. Oh, sorry, that does come into it too, bear with. Very linked to the Lovers card. Interestingly, people really like the Lovers. Everybody likes it when the Lovers comes up in a spread. It seems hopeful, romantic, and people feel good about it. Whereas when the Devil comes up, people can feel very afraid, actually. And everybody likes looking at the Lovers, and nobody likes looking at the Devil card. And this is part of the problem, because the devil is something that we want to, oh, it's out there somewhere, I'm not going to look at it. We want to consign this to a deep dark cellar somewhere, lock it away, pretend it's not there, okay? Or I think more accurately, throw it deep into the deep dark pool of the unconscious and leave it there in those dark waters that we cannot see, and forget about it, forget it ever existed. But that's exactly how the devil energy traps us, by us being unaware of it. And so today I suggest we go fishing in that dark pool and get this devil out and have a good close look at him. So to do that, we'll obviously need the devil card, number 15 from the pack. We will need the Lovers. We will need the 6s from the minors, all of those. So swords, that little quad of 6s from the minor arcana. And also, really useful today would be to have the strength card, because I want to also draw some comparisons there. Okay, so you get those out of your pack and we'll continue. Let's start then by looking at the devil and the Lovers side by side. So the two cards have important links. In the devil card, we can see identical figures from the Garden of Eden, card 6, the Lovers of the Major Arcana. But something has happened to our Lovers here. They're being kept chained in the dark, in the shadow. They're completely in darkness and shadow. The devil figure holds a torch, but he's holding it down low, so there's no light. Clarity is not available to these chained figures. Notice too, this devil doesn't have a throne. He perches. He can flap in and flap out. The inverted triangle on the devil's forehead represents matter over spirit. And that idea is echoed because he raises his right hand in a similar way to the Hierophant's hand in card 5. Only because it's his right hand, this isn't the blessing of the Hierophant. This is recognizing the authority of the physical world, the dog-eat-dog world, if you like. So a key message of this devil isn't about metaphysical evil or the supernatural. But he does tell us a lie, and his lie is that the material world is all there is. There is nothing else. We wonder how on earth the Lovers, who started off so hopefully, have got into this predicament. What has caused the fall from grace? What or who changed them? Of course, early Christian theology had an answer to that, and it was sex. Sex is certainly in the mix, as we'll see. Now, there's more to the devil than that. I've already made the link between the devil and what Jungians call the shadow side of us. Now, the shadow isn't necessarily evil. It is simply all those aspects of ourself which we, and significantly the society we live in, deem to be unacceptable. Some of them may be truly awful, and some of them not particularly awful. Some of them may be very natural impulses that we're not allowed to express, which therefore we repress. They go down in that dark pool and come out as twisted behaviour. That can happen because we're not recognizing the real thing. It's like water displacement. Something has to come out, and we can find ourselves acting out stuff simply because we're ignoring it and we don't know it's there. Anyway, this is a deep topic. The devil deserves a book, not just a little video like this. But what I want to look at next is what the devil means when it comes up in a reading. What kind of inferences may we take from this card? Well, the devil, I always think, is where we are giving our power away in some sense. So it either is a situation where someone is exerting power over us, and there is also within that our responsibility for that, for allowing that. Or it can be a situation where we possibly are exerting abusive power over others. But it may also be where we are in the power of inner compulsions. And I'm thinking, the most severe of these, I mean, there are many stages, the most severe will be genuinely life-threatening addictions like gambling, drug addiction, drinking, really severe eating disorders, materialism, sexual addictions, misplaced abusive sexuality, which harms other people, cruelties, those kinds of things which can surface. And in that instance, we have no power because we are in thrall to the power of those energies, those suppressed energies. They're not finding healthy outlets, they're not finding recognition, and they're getting twisted and they're coming out in really negative ways. And this, it can also lead us to depression, to despair, to as well a sense of victimhood. So if we find, oh, I'm the victim, there's nothing I can do, poor me, it's everybody else is doing this to me, I'm not to blame here. That's very much a devil energy. The devil is about victims and predators and scapegoats and projections, very much its domain. Let's continue and have a closer look at this. It's useful here to flag up just how what we're working with the devil, i.e. the shadow impulses, differ from the baser instinct we sought to tame with the strength card. If you remember, with strength, we acknowledged our animal selves, symbolised by the lion, recognised them, and yet decided not to act out of them. So the strength card is about the instinctual impulses, the gut. So how does this differ then to the baser elements or the suppressed elements, perhaps we should say more accurately, in the devil card? And the first answer to that is that you cannot handle what you cannot see or name. With strength, we have conscious awareness of the animal nature. Now, with the devil, we have consigned what we disown in ourselves into the darkness of the subconscious. We are not aware of it, and therefore we can get overcome with it when we least expect it. It takes away our power. All the parts of us which don't seem acceptable to ourselves and to society are repressed disowned, cut off from us. You'll note, if you study the card, how these figures are kept in shadow, kept unaware, unconscious. The second major difference between strength and the devil is that the forces we are dealing with in strength are personal to us, connected to our animal nature. With the devil, the forces are not only personal, they are also collective. That is, they are not only in our subconscious, they are in the collective subconscious of the society we live in. So, continuing that theme of projection, which societies do as well as individuals, we do it as a group as well as ourselves. Just like to say, if as the lovers, the danger with the lovers is we project our fantasies, our hopes, our dreams, our needs onto other people. Remember, the 6 is about the other, self and other, this awareness of the being others. So with the lovers, we're projecting our dreams. With the devil, we're projecting our nightmares. Everything that we're ashamed of, everything that we don't want to see in ourselves, everything that we find unpleasant, unacceptable, the society finds unpleasant and unacceptable. Rather than own it, we want to project it. So the danger here is that individually we project onto other people. So we either find somebody who carries the energy that we're not acknowledging in ourselves, and we mix that with a projection, or we simply just project it. And as societies, that's incredibly dangerous, because this results in scapegoating, and you will have groups that are identified, dehumanized, demonized, and therefore appallingly mistreated. And history has got lots of examples of that, of how we demonize and turn other groups, other individuals and groups into the devil, into all that's ill, low, vile, hateful, and despise that. And then, of course, they're not human, they're devilish, we can do what we want to them. And history is littered with that tragic outcomes of that. It's incredibly important that we own our own darker shadow areas and don't let other groups or individuals carry them for us. When we do that, also, we're giving away our power. What's within us, we can have power over. What's external to us, we can't. We're giving our power away. So how do we know when it's time to go fishing in that dark pool and look for those submerged aspects of ourselves, those broken off, cut off aspects of ourselves? Often it's when we're triggered. If you feel really triggered by something, then that is a call to look inside yourself, to really examine, why am I triggered? Where is that aspect of that in me? Remember, as within, so without. And so that can be that triggering, rather than rushing into blame or victimhood or any of those things, by responding to the triggering by looking at ourselves. How am I a fractal of that very energy? It is that which enables us to bring things up out of the darkness. And that is going to be key, because it's only when we see things and name things that we gain power over them, and they lose their power over us. Looking again at the devil imagery, the motif of the eye is very important on the card. The eye can curse, it can project, it can be blind to the truth. It is the inner eye at the brow centre which shows us the truth and reassures us that the self can burst through the structures of the physical world. Once we see things from a different perspective, we're renewed and no longer in the darkness, in ignorance of who we really are. Because we have to be able to see and name our demons, accept that they are a part of us and that we are dual, that we harbour feelings, ideas, desires that are not pretty. If we are able to do this, then we won't compulsively act out these negative energies. We'll be able to choose a much more positive course. And at the same time, we'll return to ourselves all these broken off parts of ourselves. If we continue to externalize the devil as something out there, instead of recognizing the darkness in us and bringing it into light, we'll trap ourselves in our own devil energy. If other sixes come up in a reading where we've drawn the devil card, then we can read them through that lens, obviously always depending on card placement, but that's a possibility that they may be chiming with this theme. So the Six of Swords, for instance, might be escaping into the conscious mind, taking refuge in rationality, escaping the situation. The Six of Wands could be a desire for glory and power. The Six of Cups could be the tendency to deny all darkness, say everything is sweetness and light, and be delusional about our emotions. The Six of Pentacles could be controlling or being controlled by material means, being in someone else's financial power. In Shakespeare's play, The Tempest, Prospero, who of course is a magician, says these words: "This thing of darkness I acknowledge mine." And that's the best thing for all of us to say about this devil. When you look at the two figures on the card, the chains around their neck are really loose. They can slip them and leave. They have that choice, and so do we. I'd like to conclude by saying that in the Lover's card, we see the angel between the two figures. And that space, very much that graphic space in the Devil card, is taken up by the devil who is between them. The devil's body is rather like the grey cloud we can see in the Lover's card. But let's not forget that actually Lucifer was an angel. Lucifer is a fallen angel. He's fallen, rather like aspects of ourself have fallen, if you like. But his name means bringer of light. And I'd actually say that it can be true that this dark angel, if we work in the right way with this energy, if we become conscious of that energy within us, we bring it up, we recognize it, we return the broken aspects to ourselves, and then we decide, oh no, I don't act from that energy, I act from a better energy, I act in a wholesome and healthy way with that energy. Then the devil loses its power. And I would say as well that can you really be good if you didn't have the possibility to be bad, as it were? I'd say it's all in the choice. It's in being aware, having the potential for the destructive behaviour and choosing not to employ it. I think that is true informed morality. And with that, we'll leave it today. Okay, thank you very much.